Park, no, that was what we were talking about. Me, Josiah, and Mutala,
back to back.
So we realized Oba. Then we make sure say the long weekend, no,
exactly so.
We were talking about how Premier League intensity na kosoro.
I had that.
And when you go to Europe to, you know, next week by this time, the Champions League quarterfinals, so it takes center stage. So we were talking about a lot of things and we were planning the weekend. There's Oba, no abe klamasen na maye. So once I would deal with the
one video, Inaki Williams in the code, don't with the fufu mom, and you see the way they were loving the fufu.
Yeah.
They were loving it.
Everything Ghana is super.
Yeah.
One of the best you can get in this country is to get the feel of that food. And Europeans no cry ejitum say Adeba Africa, a man for the Cayenne. You stayed in UK, so we have Ghanaian places like Ope Ghanaian food and stuff, and you get it.
Be brave. Out there, let's come back home. we are home, so let's come back and Josiah, it's a big weekend, and we're starting today. Opportunity for that's the one. Inaki and Nico, it's making the rounds. And fufu, look at the size of the fufu. And okay, trio. Yeah, Nico's tree is better than Inaki. That's right. No, man, see fufu no knife. Come on, that shit goes. Wow.
That fufu.
Oh yeah, Inaki now or what this side, but with Nico ne. She fufu no. Oh yeah. Omo ba no be di fufu. Omo cover some of shit goes.
You have seen the size of that fufu.
Of course, but the boys they play. They need energy. Omo di. Bibi omo di no extra. Yeah, that's
the way I see wife when I lose more Ghanaian hand or the wife fufu.
Yeah, thank you, director. Director is fast. So that's a bit of sports tourism and fufu. You say Josiah and Mutala, they can eat equal portions without any problem. It's mom when you're surprised. Say fufu no so.
Yeah, it's not true.
It don't be so you eat.
You big too much. Actually, that's the way they chop.
But Michael and Danny too are good in that. And Sabali, they're also good in that.
Sabali, Niyem to say, hey, we are on air. Let's come back. Okay, so we are on Max TV and Star Times. Nations are proving everybody. I mean, they're taking everybody by surprise. And today, if nations are able to win against Great Olympics, they will go top of the Ghana Premier League for the first time. Live from the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. It's a huge game, but don't be surprised. It's going to be a Great Olympics are one of those sides you wouldn't want to meet when you want to do something massive. It depends on the mood Olympics will be in today. What are we looking at, Josiah?
We are looking at, I think, the beginning of something great for Nations FC. You know, after that win against Kumasi Asante Kotoko, despite the fact that they've gone, I think, close to 2 weeks without football, Premier League football, yeah, they should look poised for this particular one. Yes, like you said, you talk about Great Olympics and you talk about tight defenses. You talk about Great Olympics and you talk about teams with so much, you know, good shape, defensive shape and all that, so much coordination at the back. So difficult for teams to break them down. But then we're also talking about a Nations FC team that is aiming top spot, especially looking at the fact that Samatex FC will be playing at home over the weekend against defending champions Media Sporting Club. So for Nations FC, yeah, this is where maybe they could start to believe that, see, it's going to be, yes, a roller coaster for us. It could be, you know, a yo-yo affair between themselves and Samatex, because now you can see that they've both pulled away, you know, to some extent from the third place Adriana Stars. And they'll be looking at playing at Friday. Let's ease off the pressure from us, because maybe we could be counting on Mediama to do the trick that we did a couple of weeks ago away at Summer Boy. So yeah, for Great Olympics, yes, looking at where they lie, they could only be aiming at least trying to drift away from the relegation zone, where you have Tanobo Fakwa over there, and you can see the point gap between themselves and 16th place Tanobo Fakwa, which is just a measly 5 points. And that's, you know, they could, if you drop points in 2 games, yeah, the next team or the teams below you could leapfrog you. So for Olympics, it's just trying to play for safety. But then for Nations FC, they're just looking at top spot and saying, hey, let's just stay there for a while and see how it feels like to be there, because this is a team that has languished in the bottom 5 at some point this season and already turned away around their fortunes, you know, by hard work and consistency and, you know, trying to rake good results at certain very, very daunting stadia. And
yeah, we were talking about, you know, how the league table looks like 2 points separating Samates and Nations FC. And there's 1 point separating Asante Kotoko and, of course, Great Olympics. So it tells you points in terms of how these teams are building up to how they will get these points to make sure them survive in the Ghana Premier League. And most of the times, Friday afternoon football, the way I will see Penono, the way most people want to see how the results will go, it doesn't go that way. Most of the away teams, if you want the day they surprise most of the home teams, is a Friday football. Away team will come to your home, surprise results, at least a draw game, an away win. If you want to see most of these things in our league, it will happen in Friday afternoon or Monday afternoon football. So it's a difficult test for a team like Nations FC to get the maximum 3 points. It means they could move to the top of the Premier League before Samates host Mediama on Sunday, which is dangerous. So how the Premier League is going. Nations wins today, they move to 43 points. Before Samates will play against Mediama, the Western Derby, anything can happen in that particular game too. So it makes this particular game involving Olympics and Nations FC a crucial game and a very test case for Nations FC if they really want to win the Ghana Premier League. I've seen their team. I've seen the way they play. I've seen in recent times how they manage to get the maximum 3 points when they are playing at home. Can they do the same thing against Olympic side or more goalkeeper or most clean sheets in the Ghana Premier League? Goalkeeper will get their experience in the local scene. Goalkeeper that would move with a lot of confidence. Goalkeeper who was in the final 55-man squad for the AFCON. In recent time, people are calling his name to be in the Black Stars team. They have good defenders who can move to various teams in the Premier League and make a case for themselves. Setre, Solomon Adomako, Asikwe, Christopher Neti. These are all players in the local scene. Oma got a lot of experience. And Oma they have been blended with Awaku's experience in the midfield. Together with Wasal Kassim, who is back into the team. So, that's a good team. Michael Osei, Amwa, and of course, Yusuf. They are all players who can score from all angles. So it makes the Olympics team more thicker than Nations FC. But it's a big game today at the Kwame Chase Sports Complex. But if there will be a surprise game this weekend, today's game is one of the games people need to tip as one of the surprise games that we can get a result we are not expecting in the Ghana Premier League.
Yeah, and if you look at the form guide of Great Olympics, it's inconsistent. But if they want to, for example, Omboshe Adriana 4-2, they were so dominant. They could have scored more goals in that game. But they were able to convince themselves and win 4-2, 6-goal thriller in that. On their day, Josiah, Olympics is one of the hardest teams to beat in the Ghana Premier League.
Yeah, that is if they are playing at home, because it looks like, despite picking up some vital points away from home, they look like a team that do not score so many goals on the road. And you look at the away table, and it looks like Great Olympics have recorded the fewest number of goals away from home this season in the league. And if you are taking such a record, an unwanted record, to a ground that no one has been able to breach, then it makes it even more daunting for you, or even more difficult for you. And you can see the away games. It's aside those wins at Tano of Accra and Real Tamale United, where they kept clean sheets, they struggled to score away from home. The
interesting thing is those 2 wins away were very tricky.
Difficult wins. You need to give them credit for that. But then just look at the other games they lost. They are so tight at the back that you can't score more than one against them. Just look at that game against Mediama. It was a 1-0 loss. The game against BN Gold Stars, where they lost by 3 goals. And on that day, I think their subsequent game where they played, at the Sugakope Wafa Park, I was talking to the assistant head coach, and I was like, see, they didn't know what happened on that day. It was like one of those days where it's just meant to be a bad day, that every foot you try to, take, or every step you try to take, it's a foot wrong. And that was how poor they were when they traveled to the dance park to play against BBN Gold Stars. But then you look at the other games they play, they don't concede that much. And there's a reason why Great Olympics have kept the most clean sheets. Benjamin Asari has kept the most clean sheet. You look at the centre-back pairing of Setre and Adomako, or even Oko Gripman, together with sometimes Razak Kassim slotting in to make a back 5 whenever they've taken the lead and they want to defend, or they are trying to fend off any pressure. It's by far the best I've seen in terms of organization, how they organize themselves, and the fullbacks always trying to defend with them. It's either being Christopher Nete or Matthew Abayase, and also Ashikwe, or even the left back they got from Karela and recently, Solomon Chene. Yeah, it's a solid backline for Great Olympics with a very, very experienced goalkeeper. And that's what they ride on. They know that they have very solid defense. But then, yeah, sometimes it goes beyond having a good defense. It goes to the point where you feel you believe you can beat certain teams. And I think that's the reason why Nations FC find themselves where they are. Because Great Olympics cannot win at Samatex and also win away at Asante Kotoko. But then this Nations FC team have done that. In the last 4 game weeks, they've been able to pull out 2 big away wins. Away at Samarabo and then also at the Barbara Sports Stadium. That makes them, favorites going into this game. And coupled with the fact that they're also playing at home, even makes it, very, very, their chances of winning this game very, very high. Yeah, you can see their last 3 games. They are yet to concede in their last 3 games. And look at the teams they've played in their last 3 games. They've played against Bekum Chelsea, one of the most informed sides, in the last 10 games in the league. They've played against Dreams FC, where they beat them by a goal to 0. There's a team that's making waves in the CAF Confederations Cup. And they are already, the GPL winners. Yeah. And just look at those games. In those games, they just managed to shut the attack of these teams, limiting them to, fewer shots on target and fewer chances, especially in that game against Kotoko. So this is what Great Olympics, are coming up against. They have a good attacking lineup. Michael says there, Emmanuel Inchi will support from attacking midfield. They have Isaac Mensah, they have Michael Yeboah, they have Albert Amwa. They have a good, set of or attacking pool of talent. Yeah. But then how do they breach the defense of this Nations FC side who are yet to lose at home? And that's why they need to work out this afternoon if they want to leave the Abraham Kase or Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex with at least a point.
Yeah, I'm glad you ended on the venue, because if you look at the other teams that came through, one of the biggest problems they've had is that they have not had their venue ready all the time to play. Tano were banned at a point, and it wasn't really, and then Pando Heart of Lions, and look at where they find themselves. So Nations were able to make sure that was not even an issue.
They even started playing there even before the end of the Division 1 league. So they have a taste of that food before the Premier League, and they've played all their games at home. When you look at their home games, Mediema and House of Folk are the last 2 teams that went there to get at least a draw at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. A slim win over Dreams FC, heavy win, 3-0 win over Bekum Chelsea, and of course a 4-1 win against Maswe Kunedus in Swatremai. So it tells you when they are playing at home, only a guarantee of scoring in their home games. That is one thing about the Nations FC team that we've seen in the Ghana Premier League. So once you are preparing yourself to go to the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex, expect goals in games like this. Expect Nations FC to score a goal. Expect them to see something new in terms of their goal scoring ability.
Kasim Mingo
games so far in the Premier League, winning 12, drawn 4, lost only 7, goals scored 27, conceding 16. So it tells you averagely every game be a Omunya goal in the Ghana Premier League.
What about this man?
Kasim Mingo, one of the best coaches we have so far in the Ghana Premier League. This particular season is one of the best. In fact, in the last 2-3 years, Kasim Mingo, Amadou Nuruddin, they have been consistent in the Ghana Premier League with the kind of work they are doing for their respective clubs. Amadou Nuruddin from Ken Faisal to Samatex, he has been consistent. And when you look at it, Kasim Mingo, consistent for Bechem United. Anytime we are the top 3 in the last 2-3 years, he's in with the Bechem. He's doing the same with Nations FC. So it tells you we're building a strong team to fight for the Premier League title. One thing that is helping them is they have some few experienced players who are guiding these young guys to get the result that they're looking for at home. The likes of Prince Aqua, Kasim, their central defender, Razak Kasim, is also available, playing Simpson, most of their Simpson, available for them, playing most of their games for them. So all these players, Omega, they have a lot of experience in the local scene. That is why they are getting that result. And coach in the handwriting is on the team. When they are playing to a head party. You can see a certain coach imparting knowledge on these players to get the result they are looking for. So Nations FC is one of the teams to beat in the Ghana Premier League. For Olympics, it's a big test case for them to get an away win against Nations FC. They've gone to Sunyani to get a result against Bofakwa. Open opportunity away in some of these matches to get the results. I'm tipping them to get something from this game, but it's going to be a difficult game against Nations.
Josiah, it's not a coincidence that Kasim Mingle is among those gunning for the coach of the month, and statistically, he's ahead in terms of matches won just by a game, and losses. They've all lost at least one game, but you know.
Yeah, I think he holds a superior record as compared to the other competitors or nominees over there. And also look at the goals he's
conceded. Just two.
He's the only one out of the 6. He has won 4.
You know, yeah, and I even make a case for him because of the away games he won in that span, Samatex, and then Barbara Sports Stadium. These are huge wins, and I always recall how Mediama won the league last season. You know, they had some huge away wins that season, a 5-1 thrashing of Hearts of Oak at the Accra Sports Stadium, and then they also went to the Barbara Sports Stadium and they got the better of Kumasi Asante Kotoko by 2-0. And you look at these wins, and you know these are statement wins. If you are taking a claim to win the Ghana Premier League, these are some of the venues you have to go and pick up wins. I remember when Hearts won the league in that season. That's the first time in a long time they went to Beche and picked that point over there. It's not easy, yes, but then once you have what it takes, the mentality, because sometimes football or winning games in football goes beyond just having quality, but it's also about the mental fortitude, like I always put it. So for Kasim Mingle, we all thought it was going to be a slow start, which indeed it turned out to be. But then at some point when, you know, he was able to galvanize these boys, you know, try to get them playing like the way he wants them to play, instilling his philosophy and every bit of, you know, what his know-how about his game, you know, into the team. Yeah, you could see how they are playing now. They are playing good on the offense, on the defense. They are not leaking in lots of chances. They stay so resolute even when they are playing against the big boys. And it's not surprising that in February and March, he won 4 games, lost just 1, and considered 2. That's how tight they are defensively. And that's also the reason why they are the best defensive side in the top division, because they've conceded 16 goals, and that's the fewest.
Coming up in another very good defensive side, Great Olympics. It will be very cagey, yeah?
Yeah, but then that's what I'm saying. Great Olympics blow hot and cold. They are not consistent like we want them to be. This Great Olympics team, have got everything it takes for a team to go to any venue, and I've said that team. But then sometimes it's because they don't find themselves in the top 5 challenging for the league. Now nations find themselves in a very, very tough situation where they've never been, or they never even envisaged they'll be before the season started, and that's where they are now. And now they have to win. It's a make or break for them.
Yeah, big weekend coming up. Of course, Hearts of Oak host BBAD Gold Stars, and Kotoko travel to Bichim. And of course, we've got Dreams hosting Stade Malais, and all this coming up on Star Times and Max TV this weekend. We start our campaign though this afternoon, and in a few minutes we'll be crossing over to pitchside at Abrankasi to talk to the coaches. Before then, let's go for this quick break. welcome back. Just a couple of changes to inform you about. Obviously, Dreams FC looking to book a berth, historically in the Confederations Cup. The second leg will be played on Sunday in Kumasi at the Babayara Sports Stadium. So that match will be at 4 p.m. and therefore Accra Evoke versus Gold Stars will be at 6 p.m. if my information serves me right. So we'll bring you that game live as well. So just a minor change there. That match is still on Sunday, as you can see on the scope on the fixture board. It is still on Sunday, but the time has moved to 6 p.m. Accra Evoke versus Gold Stars. The Phobians return to their Wembley Accra Sports Stadium after their General Assembly, as it were. We need to congratulate them on that as well. We'll talk about that, obviously, closer to the match. But the rest of the fixtures, top game. Dreams and Lagos City is postponed. Obviously, Dreams are thinking of qualifying, and Stade Malien already in town ahead of that game on Sunday. Big game. The Malians reckon they can also do the same as Dreams did to them. So it's going to be a fascinating game. You need to go and watch it. If you won't go to the stadium and watch it, you can watch it live here on Max TV and Star Times. Okay, guys, we've talked about Coach Mengo, but his opponent on the other side doesn't really have that, fanfare around him. As Kobla is not somebody that has the vibe around him, but he delivers. He's been delivering, maybe not to the expectation as we had a few seasons ago, but he's one coach who also would want to prove a point this afternoon.
He's been in the local scene for some time, coaching some, other teams in the Ghana Premier League, former under-20 head coach. So in the local scene in the last 15 to 20 years, the main Jimmy Kobla has been in the local scene, and most of these coaches know him, and he has brought the best out of some of these players in the local scene. You can see the Nations FC dressing room, the home team, and later on you will have a see look at the away team, Olympics too. So this is the home jersey of Nations FC, Bedu, Boache, and all these guys, Augustus and Ban, Razak Simpson, Boahene. All these players are key players for Nations FC club in Kumasi. So there's a big game coming on today at the Dr. Kwame T Sports Complex. I think Jimmy Kobla would like to prove a point today against Kasim Mengel, who has been, one of the best coaches in the local scene. So we're expecting some good game at Dr. Kwame T Sports Complex.
Yeah, they've packaged and the management. They've not been given enough credit, I don't think. Divine Bwedu, the president of the club, and his younger brother, Paul, they've been behind the scenes quietly. And of course, Kennedy, Boache Ansa, experience from Kotoko, GBC is a broadcast as well. So they've got the people there, calmly, quietly doing the job, and they would love to prove a point today.
Especially when they realize it could be the first time they occupy top spot in the Premier League. They've never done that before. A win would mean that, for the time being, just before Samatex play their game on Sunday against Mediama, they could get a chance to occupy top sport. And yeah, you rightly said that, most of these management members have not been given due credit like they rightly deserve. And that's the Daddy Boys also coming. Very, very hard guys. Mentally, they're very, very tough guys. And, even before games, when you're
there's no football team in Ghana that
during commentary, sessions, and you're around and you watch them train. These are tough guys with so much, synergy and telepathy amongst them, even when they're training. And most of these players are not known players. Imagine Albert Amoa, who scored a hat-trick against the Diana Stars. No one actually knows him. Just a couple of players, who are stars, and that's how the team is built. It's not just built around an individual, but then great team spirit, great players in the ranks for them. And you wouldn't even tell that the season started with Arno Walker at the helm before this man took over, and it looks like he's just continuing from where Arno Walker left off, and it's been seamless for Jimmy Kobla, the way he gets the team to play. It looks like it's just the same pattern, the same play for Great Olympics. But then talking about Nations FC, I think maybe at the point where it needs to be done, people will start giving credit to the technical team. Now it looks like, yes, there's a Razak Simpson, there's an Afriye over there who is banging in the goals. There's an expatriate player who is also getting some goals, the code Ivorian international. when they are able to start that, now I believe the league title will start. It's just getting heated, it's just getting started between themselves and Samatex. When this thing travels all the way and gets to, let's say, game week 30, where there's only a point or two separating these two sides, that's where you know how far this Nations FC team have come. Now I believe it's early days, 11 more games to go. Yes, you can start thinking about winning the title, but it's still early days. You need to start winning games on the bounce. And unfortunately for Nations, it looks like Samatex will be playing their next 3 games at home, which means that they have a bigger chance of winning or accumulating points in these games as compared to Nations FC, who would have to travel away to the north to play against RT in their next game and then come back home again. But you look at the players they recruited, and I like their recruitment policy. They don't go in for the already made stars, like we saw Mediama do a couple of seasons ago when they brought or went in for the Galacticos. That's a team that's still going in for players. Most of the players played with the team in Division 1 last season. Just a couple of them joined, this season, and they didn't even go for any big name, any Premier League proven player. They still stuck to the players they had from Division 1 and just added or blended them with a couple of new signings, unknown signings. And the one thing I like about the Nations FC team is the quietness and the calmness around the team. They don't make a lot of noise. Yes, you'd say that it's because they are sharing the same, or they are within close proximity with one of the giants in Kumasi Asante Kotoko. So definitely they wouldn't really win most of the hearts of these Ashanti people. But then, they are doing something right. And there you have it. I think Razak Kasim and the other players, hardworking players, great Olympics. And I think they could be the team to give Nations FC a run for their money this afternoon.
Yeah, it's poised. If Olympics decide to come with their game A, and they love these kind of contests where they are somehow seen as underdogs, somehow, it's against them. That's when these boys come to the party, and they're very stubborn. If you talk about stubborn academy in the Ghana Premier League, this is them. This is Great Olympics for you. We're not too sure, however, the Great Olympics that will show up this afternoon. We're about less than 20 minutes away from kickoff, and we're expecting something very special. Olympics have got a very experienced crop of goalkeepers, and I think that's an area as well. If they need someone to be up and doing, they've got the man to do that.
Yeah, they have a good goalkeeper. So far, per statistics, is the best goalkeeper in the league now, and I like the height, the stretch, and the ability to organize his defense well is one thing that is helping Olympics. So, almost good goalkeeper, he's helping them in the Ghana Premier League. Benjamin Asare, a key player in the Olympics team this particular season, and a leader at the back, commanding the back 3 or the back 5 all the time, bringing the best out of these players. So, Benjamin Asare, I admit, he's one of the best goalkeepers we have in the local scene.
And so, Biambo Awako D.
Oba Inche, in recent times, in the first one he was not there. He came in the second one, playing some few games. We watch him in their recent games, and he's bringing that experience in the midfield. Coach, anytime we talk about it, he's the coach on the field of play. Try to organize the boys very well. Try to make sure the movement of the players on the field of play is very key to Olympics. So Awaku's impact on the team is great for Olympics.
Yeah. Okay, so if you've just joined us, we're just a few minutes away from kickoff at Abrankesa, where Nations hope to go to the top of the Ghana Premier League. They host Great Olympics. We'll hear from the coaches very shortly, and then kickoff will be at the top of the hour. Tomorrow, we've got another big game coming up for you. Asante Kotoko will be in Bichim. They will play against Bichim several seasons, and we're hearing that Prosper Ogun has made or will make a lot of changes, or he's traveling with, a very, what's the word to use? He's been bold to drop some big names. I'm sure we'll confirm all of that tomorrow at match day. And then Accra on Sunday, they'll play at 6, because at 4, it'll be Dreams FC who take on Stade Malien, who are already in town. They say that, Dreams came to Mali and surprised them, so they want to return the favor. It's going to be a great match. Remember, Black Stars will be traveling to Mali for the World Cup qualifier. So we're going to be seeing a lot of Ghana-Mali encounters for sure. And then maybe we have time at the end of the day to activate the phone lines. I know I've seen a lot of you asking about John Paynes who taken some of the media to legal action, but of course we're not here to discuss that. If this time I'll ask these two gentlemen to give me their thoughts on that. Some of them won't count.
No, don't think I found his name on the no.
Okay. You've been good boys. Yeah, so let's quickly talk about officiating, which has been. We don't want to be talking about officiating at the end of the match. The centre man has to be firm, fair, and do his job.
Yeah, he needs to. That's a pressure game. Yeah, that's a pressure game, especially
even for the referee.
Even for the referee, because there's been instances where away teams have quite been left peeved, and treated unfair, if I should put it, after long travels like that. And you can see Olympics, they had to trek for quite a long before getting there. So I believe the centre man would really be important.
Okay, the coaches are ready to talk to us. Let's find out what they have to say.
You are coming into this game from 3 straight wins in your last 3 games. How confident is this side ahead of this game?
Okay, Olympics is a formidable team. They have good players in all departments of the game. And they've been together for about 3 seasons now. So, I'm confident it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a very tough match for us. But at the end of the day, we expect us to take the 3 points.
You've gone 12 home games, 8 wins, 4 draws. Your home invincibility is under threat against the Olympics today.
I can say yes or no. Also, I say it's going to be very, very tough game for us. But at the end of the day, we will take our 3 points, God willing.
You scored a lot of goals here. Asamoah Boateng have scored 10 goals in this season's Premier League. How reliant is he going to be for your side?
When he's in the game, we are confident at least he will get a goal for us. When he's in the game, he's in top shape, and I'm hoping he will do what he had been doing for us every day.
You made just one change to the team that beat Asante Kotoko. Any reasons?
Oh yes, for a tactical reason. We did it for some tactical reason. Every game, it depends on the approach we approach the game with. It depends on the opponents we're going to play with. So you don't need to be using the same strategy for all teams. It depends on the way every team plays. So we see the way they play. If we need to do 1 or 2 changes to the team, then we go ahead with it.
Nations are second on the league log. And for Kasim Mingo, you've always been a coach who have come closer and closer to the league title back in the days at Bechem United. Is the aspirations of this team to win the Premier League? And for you personally, are you aiming at your first Premier League title in this season?
All teams participating in the league want to go for the ultimate. That's the league title. So we are also ready for it. We are playing. When opportunity comes for us to grab, we grab it.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hi, my brother.
I'm sure these guys are in some positive mood coming into this game, especially after beating Adriana by that 4-2 margin.
Exactly. Spirit is so high, and it is good for the team.
Regardless, you are still described as one of the poor travelers in the Premier League with just 2 wins away in this season in Premier League. You're coming up against a team lose a game at home. What kind of opposition are you expecting from Nations?
Well, we believe it's a difficult game for us, but we are respecting them for their position and their performance. But I can tell you that we will not be afraid of them. When we win the ball, we're going to attack them.
They scored a lot of goals at this venue. How do you intend to stop them from scoring here?
Well, I think most of their goals are coming from the wings to their striker, and we are going to cut that supply.
Amwa made a huge statement for himself, a player coming from the first division and bagging a hat-trick against Adriana last weekend. How do you intend to use him to the advantage of Olympics today?
Well, I think he's coming from second division, Kwabibrin.
Yeah.
They are now in the second division. Power and speed, so you need to use it. And now he has started using it. We're seeing the result. We hope to see another result, good result today.
What's the worst outcome you'll be expecting from this game?
Draw.
Good luck.
Thank you.
JJC, Jimmy, Kobla, they're very confident. I think they're even ready. They're standing by, and kickoff will be in a few minutes. So I don't know if we have time for last words from our guys, but they'll troop in. Abraham Kesse, where it's located, the fans would make their way gradually. Hopefully by halftime they'll fill the place. But it's a big match and a great opportunity. Nana Dakwa is standing by at pitch side.
Break in the quarterfinals of the MTN FA Cup last weekend for match day 24 of this season's campaign. Welcome to the Dr. Kwame Chey Sports Complex here in Abrankese. Good afternoon to all our viewers across the world on Star Times Adepa Channel 247. It's Nations FC, the home team, against visiting Great Olympics. My name is Nana Dakwajese. I'm your commentator for this game here in Abrankese. It's Nations, the only team yet to taste defeat at home in this season's Premier League, coming up against the Wonder Club, Great Olympics. Now the big question is, will Olympics perform any wonders here against the home side? Wherever you are, this is our coverage of the Ghana Premier League live from Abrankese at the Dr. Kwame Chey Sports Complex.